Good morning, everybody. Give me a couple minutes as I do my thing and share with everybody that we are live. So I will be back with you in a couple moments. Give me another couple moments, guys. Just again, getting into the trade rooms and sharing that we are live. And then we will get started. All right. Good morning, everybody. Or good morning, traders. I'm going to be nicer today. Sometimes I talk about the stock market and I make it, some people are losing money in the stock market. When I talk about support and resistance so blindly, sometimes I have to be a little bit more compassionate and be like, hey, guys. If you're losing money today in the stock market, this is why. Sometimes I just go and I just kind of again, when I'm talking a couple hours a day to you guys and I'm trying to help you guys, sometimes I might, be very a matter of fact, right? I'll be like, oh, see this? This is a symmetrical triangle. Price goes up here. If you're losing money here, don't, I kind of just talk so matter of factly. Good morning, everybody. Talking to people in the trade room. So I got to be a little bit maybe nicer at times and just be like, if you're losing money in the stock market today, here might be the reason why. So maybe I got to change my my tone. I'm a little too blunt with you guys sometimes, and I just talk so whatever as so matter of fact, but that's who I am. Some people like the brutal honesty, and some people it rubs them the wrong way. So if I rub you the wrong way, there'll be plenty of other companies out there that would love to take $200 a month from you. So the $10 a month, some of you guys that like me, great. Some of you guys that might not, then maybe you'll deal with it because we're only charging you $10 a month. Oh, God. Guys, sometimes, if you're listening to me for a while, there are a lot of times I might say something and then I laugh and I joke about it, which shows I'm obviously joking. But sometimes I think people in this world today, they don't realize when you're joking. They take everything so seriously. So just, if you're one of those people that takes things too seriously, maybe if I say something at times and you're like, that guy, I don't know what he's not being very nice. If I giggle or chuckle after that, that's a clue that I'm probably joking, right? All right, so let's get into it today. Futures. So I'll take the nicer tone today. Futures today are in the middle of a symmetrical triangle, just like they were yesterday. So the good news right here, it's holding the moving average lines. It still could break down or it can go out and break out. Have to keep an eye on it. But again, symmetrical triangle, price smack in the middle, indecision mode. So, it's trading sideways. When price trades sideways, it creates that indecision. It makes it a little bit difficult to trade at times. So again, you ideally want to see it break out or break down and choose a direction. Right now it's trading sideways, which sideways action affects stocks. All right. So sometimes it's very difficult to trade these stocks when things are trading sideways. So again, staying along with the theme of what we've been teaching you guys, we show you guys a combination of our watch list each day and trade ideas. And again, every day we just kind of try to drill it in your heads, patterns, because patterns mean everything, right? So if you're new, it's all about patterns. So ASTC was on the watch list for a potential continuation day. You can see some resistance around 815. You can see some support right down here about that 660 level. So right now it's kind of just trading sideways. So see if there's a sympathy day. Again, it's a big high wave candle. It's going to do something. It's either going to go up or go down. So it might be one of those ones, again, just to look to get a scalp on it. If it potentially goes up. There's no shares to short on Thinkorswim right now. It's not looking so hot right now, but we'll put it off to the side. Again, when you're day trading, you're just looking for movement, trying to scalp 10, 15, 20 cents. You're not trying to hit a home run, right? CBIO. So CBIO here has a bullish harami, right? Red candlestick, bullish harami, yep. I was going to say engulfing, but no, it's a harami. So this is a potential reversal pattern after it's oversold. So you can see right here, you want to see it get above that 1067 level. You can see some resistance up there just below $12 and some support right around kind of that 914-ish area. So we'll see, again, kind of trading sideways a little bit above pre-market. So this one might have a chance to go up as a potential reversal. Again, bullish harami, and see if this turns into a 3 inside up pattern. Again, if you're like, what the heck am I talking about? Take our courses. We have our free courses over here, and we have our candlestick courses, a beginning one and an advanced one, which will teach you candlesticks. So CBIO, we'll put that on. I'm going to keep that on eye for potential reversal and movement up. It's getting a little bit of volume pre-market. So again, looking for these patterns. This is a bullish harami. There's a good probability that this may reverse and continue upwards. SD right here kind of has a cup pattern, maybe a cup into a handle. Let's see if there is a handle. It's a big cup pattern right here, and you can see on the hourly it is moving up. You have some resistance right at that $18. So see if it can get above that $18 marker with some potential continuation up. It's got plenty of areas to go up and move towards, and you can see that 17 area right around that 200 SMA, some good support. Not loving it right now. It's right up at $18. Not much volume there yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. All right, Fran. All right, so let me remove these drawings. So Fran is holding its highs right around that 745-ish marker. Might be doing an ascending triangle. Might be looking to break out. You can see kind of a cup and maybe handle pattern. Some resistance right around that 780-ish marker. And then maybe $8. So watch if this one is going to go. You can see it's above the moving average lines. Might have some room to move up. So Fran, again, light in the volume, but that's okay. That is one to keep an eye on. Again, like we've been saying to you guys, our watch list are very under the radar in the morning because look over here, 20,000, 4,000, 3,000. So you're like, oh, not much volume. That's not going to move at all today, or I don't care about that because when I turn on trade ideas, there's LTBR right now with 2.5 million, ATI 215,000, MBRX is 531,000. I should go trade those, right? Well, not necessarily. It all depends what type of trader that you are. If you're trying to go and trade the trade ideas ones right off the bat, and you're looking to scalp 10, 15, 20 cents, you're going against pretty much the majority of traders in the world, all the bulls and the bears duking it out. So they're all distracted over there with trade ideas. We have our watch list right over here. You can scalp your 10, 15, 20 cents, let the patterns form on the trade ideas ones, and then, get your scalp on ours and then go over there and trade the patterns, right? That's why we always like having a good combination of trade ideas with our watch list. Scalp ours when nobody's looking, and then go back over, and after the bulls and the bears duke it out over there for a while, come back after they leave that trail in the patterns, make a scalp over there. So, that's why we kind of bounce back and forth. So Fran, again, want to see if that can continue up. You can see right around, about $8. I would look at $8, just psychological support and resistance levels, those whole and $1/2 amounts. And you can see, it's kind of like that cup pattern, and it kind of extends up to these resistance levels there. Let's take a look at YTRA. You can see some resistance right around that 812 level. On the hourly, it might be trying to get over that 200 SMA, that 730 level, and some 775, some resistance. So if it can get above that 200 SMA, see if it can continue. Again, you're trying to scalp, if it gets above 730 and it's got room to run to 775 or so, that's, potential 45 cents, right? You want to try and get 10, 15, 20 cents of that. So this might have a chance to it might be bull flagging here. See if it can get above the 200 SMA and continue. Not liking it so much right now. It's not doing much of anything, but we'll keep an eye on it. YTRA. CHRS. You can see here some resistance right around that 1705. Kind of a big cup and then kind of a handle. See if you can get above that 1705 area for potential breakout. Kind of has a handle going back over in here. Right, kind of like that a little bit, right? So might be trying to break out of that handle there. Again, has to get above that 1705 marker. So, again, not much volume right now, but we'll put it peripherally and keep an eye on it. CHRS. And last, NDLS at all-time highs, and that just completely dumped right down to, let's do this, right down to 935. So let's put support down there. So let's see if it gets a little bit of a reversal. Might be a dip buy potentially, but right now it's just super overextended after 3 green days, after an inverse head and shoulders breakout, and now it's pulling back. So maybe there'll be a chance for a quick scalp for a reversal. That's why it's very important, guys, to be able to learn to trade multiple ways. Not just trade up, not just trade bull flags, bear flags, stuff like that. You want to be able to trade these 2 and 3 candlestick patterns, these reversals, right? The star patterns, the haramis, the engulfing patterns, where, everybody else might be distracted on, the stocks that are really running, the handful of stocks that are like pumping up real quick, right? So people might be distracted over there where you could grab a dip buy, grab a reversal. So if you're trying to scalp 10 or 15 or 20 cents on a low float stock, you can grab that same 10, 15, 20 cents on a reversal on a stock that's selling off and finding hammers, off of moving average lines, or again, showing reversal patterns as well. So again, you got to learn to be able to adapt and have multiple different trading styles. And that's why we're trying to teach you this. And each day, try to keep it light for you guys, teach you guys new things each day. I mean, I could just sit here in silence, right, for, open up for the day and just be like, look at my scanner and be like, this is terrible market today, and just kind of sit back and just say, not much moving, go silent, go have my coffee, go downstairs, watch some television. Hey guys, I'll be back. Not put myself on camera, right? It'd be very easy to not put myself on camera. Hey guys, not much is running today in the market. We're just going to keep an eye on it and look, put you guys on mute, go maybe take a walk outside for a little bit, come back 15 minutes later. Oh, checking the scanner, guys. Not much working today. Market's not so hot. Go back silent again. Maybe watch some Netflix, right? Come back later. Yeah, guys, it's a rough day. I'm going to shut it down today. Not much going on, right? And what do you learn from that? You're paying us monthly membership fees. You don't learn anything from that, right? So, meanwhile, I'm trying to get my screen up here. Meanwhile, you're not learning. So that's why we're trying to each day, each morning, come in and teach you guys something. There's always something to teach you. If the market is having a good day, there's something we can teach you going long. If the market has having a bad day and selling off, there's always ways to teach you going down. If the market is trading sideways, there's always something to teach you with trading sideways and saying, hey guys, this is why the market's doing this and why stocks are doing that. Right? So that's what our intention is with the Bullish Bears, is we're trying to help you learn that. So I'll be a little bit nicer today. I may have been harsh. I said newbies yesterday. Too bad you're not going to see, or those that are freebies. I said freebies. For those that are freebies, too bad you're not going to get us until you pay up. And that's not so nice of me to say. So I'm going to be nice today and say, for those of you freebies that are watching us, you're welcome to stay and watch for as long as you want today. How's that? I'm a little nicer today. All right, guys. That's a joke. See, I laughed. I chuckled. So if you're very serious, I chuckled there. That means it was a joke, right? So I was joking. I say that because there's sometimes people don't. There's very select few of people that sometimes that hear stuff and they don't like joking. So I apologize if you don't like joking. But I'm a jokester, so that's that. All right, so we're going to wait for the market to open and see what's going on. Let me go to which screen do I want? Let's pull up CBIO. So this is one to keep an eye on right here. It's kind of broaching right along, right on that 1080-ish marker. See if we can get above this, kind of that $11 marker right there. I'm going to remove this drawing right here. I want to see if this pattern, this bullish Rami pattern, can go up above, right above that. Kind of, what's that, $11 marker. So it's got a dollar potential move if it can get above that line. Right now it's kind of selling off. And Fran is taken off. For those of you guys that are listening on YouTube right now, I look over at the comments. People are talking in the trade room. We shut off the chat room in here because we do all of our chatting in our chat rooms. So right now, CBIO is not looking so hot. It's selling off at the moment. I'm going to pull up a 1-minute chart and a 5-minute chart. So not looking so great, but Fran is taking off. So we'll pull up Fran and see what's going on over here. You can see there was a breakout here above 743. Right over in here, it's taken off. So at this point, you want to wait for a pullback, right? So if you're a beginner trader, when something is taking off and launching like this, wait for pullbacks. Don't buy way out here. You don't buy these big candlesticks. You got to wait for pullbacks. Don't chase. Right? Very important lesson to learn, because this is a perfect trap. This is where, the beginner, you got, people that are new traders, they get caught up here. They buy at tops of candlesticks, not at support, right? You want to buy at support levels, sell at resistance levels. This thing's already moved up over 20 cents. So you want to see a flag. Watch if there's going to be a flag to trade, or if this thing's just going to go up and just completely dump. And right now, it's pulling back a lot more. This is not on the 1 minute, not the kind of type of flag you'd be looking for. You want a smaller candlestick and flag, not a bigger drop down like this. So you don't want to see it go up like that and drop. Again, scalpers are taking a trade down here and selling it right up in here to get a quick scalp. Now you want to watch right here. Is there going to be kind of a candlestick formation here for a bull flag with a smaller candlestick down here? You want to be careful on these bigger candlesticks. Now remember on this one right here with Fran, kind of a cup, impossible handle pattern, 780-ish to 814 resistance. So we're going to see here if the pattern's going to hold, if it does like either a bull flag, or is it going to do more of a pennant or a triangle. So we want to watch, again, the daily in conjunction with a 1 minute and a 5 minute and look at the patterns. Right now, the 5 minute has kind of a bigger green candlestick. Want to see how this one forms. You can see right here, now you got this kind of this triangle or pennant pattern kind of forming right over in there. So ideally, if you're bullish on this, you want to see it break out and then get above 770 area, right? So I got to watch, again, look at these patterns, see how they're forming here, and you can see when it does something like that, if you're bullish on it, you don't like to see that. It breaks the pattern. Now remember, if you're a new trader, again, we're only 4 minutes into the market, lots of volatility. The bulls and the bears are going in there and duking it out for a while, or right at the bell, right? So you got to let these patterns form, and sometimes they get really messy. And as you can see right here, this pattern's starting to break. I'm not liking it so much right now. I might go look at CBIO. I'm going to pull up. This might be an example of one to look at for a possible reversal. So this one right now is going back to the daily here. You can see it's rejecting off that 1080 marker, right? So now if we go into the 1 minute chart here, want to see if it's going to fail, or, you know, right here is the buyer, are the buyers going to come in right here, right? So I want to see, is this going to form a potential reversal, right? So I want to show you guys, we're going to keep an eye on this one to show you what a potential reversal would look like, where price is getting near support. You can see it's holding the line around this 1050-ish area. We'll see if that holds. If it fails, then it might continue its bearishness. But there might be a chance right here. You can see this, 1055. Again, it's not much, right? It might be a quick scalp. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on this, if it's going to form a potential reversal and maybe have some continuation upwards. So on reversal candles, again, not saying this is going to hold. We have to watch the pattern. You're able, as a stock's falling down, to use a smaller candlestick as your, your risk, right? So not trading, like you're not trading big candlesticks up. Same thing, you're not trading them down if you're bullish, right? You let it sell off, let it form a smaller bullish reversal candlestick, and then reuse this as your risk management, the smaller candle. Not saying, again, to trade this candle, just showing you guys an example. Again, still kind of close to these moving average lines, so you have to be careful because these are resistance levels. I'm just showing you the ideas of, on a reversal, 1050 up to 1060. This is a 10-cent candle rather than, let's see, 1082 down to 1050. This is a 30-cent candle. You want to look at these smaller candles if you're going to risk a trade. So you can see, there you go. Now we got some resistance up in here, so we got to just keep an eye on this, see what happens. Now it's starting to get potentially above the moving average lines. So you have the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart. Now you can see high of day around that 1080 marker here. So just want to look at this and show you guys, see if there is a potential reversal or if it's just going to bear flag down and fall. Now keep an eye on this over here. You can see kind of a pattern right up here. There's a head, a left shoulder, a right shoulder, neckline, right? So you can see kind of a head, right? Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. So head and shoulders pattern, right? Identify the patterns. Necklines going down like this, right? So now price is falling down, failing a neckline, failing it here. Buyers potentially coming back in here. Now it's trading sideways and it's got to contend with this right shoulder. So this is a bit risky. Again, I want to show you guys how these things happen. Like when price kind of fails, look at these patterns, look at the support and resistance levels, and then determine, okay, as I look at this, you could say, well, potential reversal forming here, but there's the risk of this resistance up here, and it's not too, it's kind of close, 1080 to 1090. You know, it's only maybe 20 to 30 cents away. So you're like, I don't know if I like that so much, right? So these are the things you got to think about when trading. Just because you see a reversal or a stock running, you have to then be able to still identify what is your risk, what is the reward, and you have to go through that throughout the entire process, right? It's easy for me to go right now and guys say, hey guys, I just scalped this, or I didn't scalp this, or this is the trade I'm in, or that's the trade I'm not in, and it happens so quickly, right? It's just bam, 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 bam. But with trying to slow day trading down for you guys, or just trading in general, you just teaching you guys these patterns, watching movement, showing you guys risk. What's your risk? What is your reward? And then say, I don't know if I like this right now. I might look at something else, right? So right now, I'm not liking it. It's not so hot. Now, YTRA, not much volume right now. I was looking at this on my other screen. So the volume is not so hot, but, you know, we're going to just now take a look at this one and go back over to the daily chart. And it's got a bunch of resistance up in this area. So again, I was seeing price is breaking above high of day here. Might be trying to continue up. You know, could be a smaller scalp right here, but I don't like the volume, right? Again, trying to teach you guys the things just to really be aware of just because a stock's going up, what's happening. If you look over here with YTRA, only 7,000 in volume. So not much going on with the volume. You can see the patterns over here with the moving average lines. Kind of choppy, needs more volume. So it's got some potential room to run from 730 to 755, potential 25-cent move, but you want to see that volume. And if if somebody bought 1,000 shares right now, it could really, cause some extra movement in here. CHRS. Now this one may be breaking out. Let's see here. Kind of an ascending triangle, right? And there was the handle. There was your breakout. So right over here. So at this point, now you want to see that 1710-ish area hold. Resistance is at 1720-ish. It's a bit overextended. You'd ideally like to see this pull back a little bit or use this candle right here. Again, remember, it's a little bit overextended. And 1710 is, there you go, boom. It's quick. Sometimes you can't get an entry, right? It's just really quick and it just kind of moves up quickly. So ideally with this one right here, you'd want to see a pullback, right? Kind of flagging up. You'd like to see a pullback to get an entry. So if you're a newer trader, again, don't buy the tops of these big candlesticks. So now we're starting to get about 12 minutes into the market. Again, my style, I'm a pattern trader. Everybody should trade patterns, right? It's not just my style. You should always be looking for the best setups, right? You can see over here, as I'm showing you these, you can be like, well, look at your scanner over to the left. There are a ton of stocks that are moving, gigantic. You're looking at a 5-cent mover compared to a 337% mover. And that's because I'm trying to slow down and show you guys these patterns, because if you're a new trader, you're never going to be able to trade these massively quick movers until you can see these patterns and identify them over here. Again, this is not my style. I'm not a pump and dump, really quick in and out trader. I like to see these patterns. Some days they work well for me, and then some days, you miss moves, right? If you're a pattern trader, some days you'll miss a good pattern over here. And there's other days, again, I like to just have clearly defined risk, not rush. I stay away from a lot of the herd, let the herd duke it out, and then I go back over there and watch the patterns that are formed. So I'll probably go over there in the next 5 or 10 minutes, see what patterns are forming over there, because then I can look at the 5-minute charts on these bigger ones and see a pattern. What's the pattern that's forming? And at that point, I might have a better chance of an entry rather than a huge candlestick up or a huge candlestick down, right? And CHRS is still continuing up. Again, if you're a new trader, wait for a pullback. So I'm going to delete these lines here. And you can see at this point, right around that 1707 is clearly defined support. So right here, being a pattern trader, I'd let this thing play out and I'd watch for a pullback and see if there's a flag for potential continuation upwards. If it doesn't, listen, if this one doesn't pull back and doesn't, pull back on that pattern, then I'd say, okay, maybe it's just not a trade I'd take. You then look at a 1 minute. Again, you can zoom in over here and you can look over here and see, again, it was a bit overextended out here, right? And so then you got to decide, am I going to take it on this flag here, or do you want to be closer out here? Again, be aware what you're risking out here. It could go, right? You can see the bull flag and then it took off. Be aware that it is a bit overextended. I like to see the pullbacks and get closer near support levels. It's very easy to be like, oh man, I missed this move. Darn it, I didn't take this flag. Beat yourself up. I missed that move. If you let that mindset enter in your mind each day, that's when you're going to chase as a trader, and could really mess you up. It's all about emotions, and there it goes. It keeps moving up. So at this point, I'm not getting the pullback on it. I'm looking at some of the other ones on the watch just right now. Maybe, so now I'm looking at SD. Let me look at SD for SD's getting some volume here. Again, it's not 1 million or 2 million in volume. 179,000 flying under the radar. $18 is resistance. And now you can see, okay, this might be forming kind of a triangle formation over here. Let's go over here and see. You can see 1770 high a day here. Kind of has this triangle pattern right over, kind of like this, right? Oops. So now it's kind of breaking out of this triangle. Now you want to see it go and break above that 1770 level. If it does, you have $18 resistance. Again, now we're getting about 15, 20 minutes into the market. You're starting to see more of these patterns they're forming. So if you're listening and you're a new trader and you're like, I don't have the patience. You've been talking for 16 minutes and haven't showed me anything really good. Like, I want to get in and get out and make my money. Well, again, you can go and you can scalp really quick and try to do a 1 minute and go against some of the pump and dumps, which I'll show you guys what they look like. Or you can kind of sit back. If you're at work, you're at home, you want some time to place a trade, then you kind of go and you look at these patterns and you can see, okay, triangle breaking out. Now you got to look over here. Is this going to form into kind of an ascending triangle? It's forming kind of a top here. You can see 1770-ish area. Is it going to go and break out and continue? You can see this 1770, very important resistance level, right? Identifying these patterns. Now, let me take a look at ASTC. So right now, you can see 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection at this top right here. Now, again, see if this is going to become an ascending triangle or if it's going to be a double top and fail, right? Right now it's double topping and it's not going up. But that double top could also be an ascending triangle. So that's where you got to, again, let these patterns play out a bit. And I'm looking at, see, YTRA was intriguing me because YTRA is forming kind of an ascending triangle, but it's not getting that volume, right? But you can see there's a kind of a top right here forming. Right there, you guys see that? Kind of a flat top ascending triangle. Right? Want to see if it can break out above that 726 level. So again, the volume's not picking up. Now you got to see if it breaks above that 726. Is there going to be volume and push this thing up, or is it just going to just collapse? These are the things that you guys want to find, right? These ascending triangles, these flags. Watch what's going on, and as you can see here, slowly, it's not still again not a lot of volume. Now it's moving up here. Still, the volume's not kicking in so hot. But at this point, again, just keeping an eye on this one. It's got to get above that 730 marker. Need some volume. So you'll see an ascending triangle. Price breaks out a little bit here. It's only going up 3 cents. Again, the volume's not kicking in. You want to see the volume start to kick in here. Now, Fran, let me go take a look at Fran right now. Fran is moving back down to, now it's right at the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. It's not looking so hot, right? But you can see right here, clearly defined a high day of 770. You can see some, right now, some support around that 750-ish area. You know, if it doesn't fit, now you got to watch right here. Is this going to bounce off the 9 EMA in the 5 minute? Maybe continue up, get above VWAP. Maybe there could be a scalp, 10 or 15 potential cent scalp, or watch if it's going to fail. Again, hitting off resistance. So it went up, came back down. I just want to show you guys ways to keep an eye on of ways that you can potentially scalp 10 or 15 cents off of something without going near the herd. Sometimes you look at this again and there won't be something that you can really trade, and other times there'll be a good setup. I'm going to go over now to some of these ones. Again, we're about 20 minutes in. Now let's go look at the patterns on some of these ones that are really moving today. So naked, right, NAKD, you can see pre-market high was at 794. Is it halted right now? Looks like there's a halt at 945. So you can see it went and broke above. So now you can see some support or resistance. Now it's now support on that 794. It's got to get above 820. I'm not a huge fan of the halt trades. You can see that's the highest one right now. I'm going to skip down and go look at some other ones. It's just not my style. I don't like chasing those halts. Going to look at some patterns, right? See if there's anything to keep an eye on. This right here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So here's an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. Might be trying to get above. You can see right here. $15, kind of high a day, $15.83. Inverse head and shoulders. If it can get above that $14 marker right over here, might have a chance. Again, look at find these patterns, see if it's something you like. It's a little bit higher of a price stock. I don't want to look at that one. You know, around 14 bucks. Don't really care about that one. Now you can see over in here, there was a nice bull flag right over in here, 377. So you can see there's a bull flag pullback here. Now watch if there's another one or if this is going to be a reversal because it's a bit overextended. Not liking that one so much either right now. LTBR. So this is where you can start to see, okay, forming a base right here. Might be forming a reversal to go up, but then you got to see, okay, what's my risk? You can see the moving average lines. You know, when you get something where it's far away from the moving average lines, that's where you might want to say, okay, 130 up to 38. So this is something you might start to think about and consider and be like, okay, you know, can I scalp potentially 8 cents or 10 cents out of this? Well, it's forming a base down here, kind of selling off. There's a chance this might want to move at least to that 9 moving average line. You know, 129 down to 123, a 6-cent candle. This is something you'd start to consider. Okay, is this a reversal pattern? Do I want to try and scalp 10 cents out of this thing? Maybe a little bit more. I'll risk these smaller candles to make a reversal potential trade. This is something you might start to look at, right? This is kind of an idea of a reversal. Right? You ideally want to see a little bit more run, but you can see here's risk 129 down to 123. You have a 6-cent candle. You ideally want at least a 2-to-1 profit to loss ratio, but you know, gotta keep an eye. This could fail, or again, you might be able to get a chance and say, well, it could go up to 138, possibly up to 149. So there's a 10 to potentially 20-cent move. But you got to watch these candlesticks form on the 5-minute and see the pattern. Right now it's starting to fail a little bit. So this could be a fake out. And right now, it's not looking so good. But you can see here, and now the moving average lines are starting to come down. So now you're like, this didn't look so hot. So as you were watching that pattern play out, it's not looking so good right now. But that's where I was kind of trying to show you guys, if it wasn't starting to fade and the buyers were starting to come back in, you could have had a chance. That's the mindset, right? You're saying, okay, I might risk a 5 cents to make potentially 10-cent scalp with potentially to make more. At this point, it's not looking so good. So let's take a look at another one. Or actually, let me look at the watch list real quick, see if there's anything. So these are what I kind of want to show you guys, right? So as you can see, about 25 minutes into the market, this is what I would then starts to catch my attention, right? Stock moves up. There's your big flag pulls up. Here's a 5-minute chart. Now I want to see, you know, is it going to be a flag or kind of a pen? I'm looking for this kind of this pullback, right? So you're not risking on these bigger candles. You're risking on the smaller ones. It's a little bit too high of a price to day trade stock for me. I typically like them under $10 or so. But this is kind of what I'm trying to see. I'm looking at the price is now moving on the 5-minute. It's pulling back. Now I would start to drill in on the 1-minute and say, okay, is this something I'd want to potentially trade, right? You're able to start looking at these smaller candles. Now, again, remember, it's a bit overextended. Ideally, you like to see closer to the moving average lines when it pulls back. But if you do take a risk, at least if you were to do something like this, you're risking on a smaller candlestick right here than you are on the big ones, right? Don't trade these flag pulls. You got to look and find and trade the flags if the pattern sets up. Again, here's another example of a reversal. So you can see price is falling. Then you get the buyers coming in, these smaller candlesticks for a reversal, right? But then be aware of how much room do you have to run. So these are the things I also like to look at for reversals. But what are your, like, how much room do you have? So ideally, I want to see 20 cents or more, or at 15, 20 cents, so I can at least maybe make 10 or 15 cents on this reversal. But you can see buyers came in 217 to this 9 EMA 224. You're looking at 7 cents. You're like, okay, possible reversal, but not as much reward. So, I don't know how I feel about that one, right? So I wouldn't, this catches my eye, but that doesn't catch my eye because the reward isn't as good. Now, see YTR. No, I'm not going back to that one. Now let's pull up again, Trade Ideas, NAKD. Again, halted again. All right, so you got to be very, very careful on these. And these are the candlesticks. Again, we are huge fans of Trade Ideas. We love their scanner. My personal style, I'm not a huge fan of trading these, right? I'm not a huge fan of $8 to $10. That's a great move. I'm not a huge fan. Again, for risk, you have to be super quick and be willing to risk dollar candles, 50-cent candles at a time. So that's, again, there's a lot of people that love trading these. But if you're a new trader, you're never going to be able to trade these. So you can see really good patterns many of times, but the problem is they move so quickly and your risk is very difficult to trade on that. Dan loves trading those. My trading style, I'm different than Dan. And that's good, right? So you guys can see both sides of the fence. This is not my type of style. I'm keeping an eye on CHRS right now. This one. Remember I was telling you guys about those pullbacks? I was kind of watching it on the side chart. I see the flag pull up, pulling back over here. So we like to see the pullbacks. And now I'm trying to see, is there going to be a smaller candle close that gets above kind of this VWAP area for a potential, this is one to potentially look at where you could potentially get a scalp, right? So you can see high a day, 1780, flag pull up, comes back down. Is there going to be a smaller green candlestick right over in here? See if we can get above that. See that 1740 down to 1720. You can see these are 20 cents, still decent risk management, but on a $17 stock, not so bad, right? But now you got to think. So this is where I want to show you guys perfect example of what you have to think about. So here's my mindset, right? I'm slowing it down. I'm looking at patterns. I'm saying, okay, I'm willing to potentially risk 20 cents. What's my potential reward, right? So this candle, 1740 down to 1720, that's 20 cents. There's the potential for it to go from 1740 to 1780. So that's 40 cents. So that means if I look at this and I decide to take a trade on this, right, I'm willing to risk 20 cents for the potential to make 40. That's at least a 2-to-1 profit to loss ratio. That's when I would start to consider, right? The trade could go against me for sure, but there's at least I'm putting that mindset of I'm willing to, I have a chance to make, twice what I'm willing to risk. Does that make sense to you guys? You can see a pattern pulling back. Now I got to watch this pattern form, right? I'm going to let it see on the 5 minutes, see if it'll hold, and then it'd be something, okay, this is something, again, I'd look at. This pattern's still not so hot, but it's getting a little bit better, right? So maybe a bull flag here. Going back over to the daily chart. This is happening right below resistance. So this might be forming a potential chance to go and break out, or it might fail, right? Again, there's no guarantee this thing's going to break out. But these are the things I want to try to teach you guys, is this process, this thought process. This candle might not be so hot. It might dump. And then you're like, well, that was a waste. That stinks. Well, that's okay. That happens all the time with trading, right? Don't rush. Think about what you're doing on every single trade. And that's why I'm trying to teach you guys is that the psychology of the setup might be good, but you might be risking more than you can potentially make, right? So you have to think about all of that. Is the setup good? What are you willing to risk? What is your reward? Is it at least minimum 2-to-1 profit loss ratio? If it isn't, if it's 1-to-1, why take that trade, right? A lot of people think in day trading, you have to make several trades a day, right? You don't. You can make one trade a day, scalp 10, 15, 20 cents, and have a really good day as your account starts to grow. Be patient with it. But if you start chasing and you're not looking for the proper setups, you start chasing, you have a bad day, now you're chasing that loss all day, you're making several bad trades to try to catch up, and that's not smart. And the good news for you guys that, if you have a different trading style, you like trading those ones that go up and down really quickly, we have our chat room in here where people are, you can see people are just chatting we have our day trade, swing trade, futures room. They're all chatting. They're all talking. Many people in our chat room love to trade trade the small, low floaters that go up really quickly and down really quickly. And again, we share our trade idea scanner every day with everybody. So, feel free to join our trade room. All right. So you can see price is potentially getting out of the 1740s range here right now. So now we got to watch and see if it can continue up. So you guys see on the 1 minute how price is breaking out above that 1740, showing some indecision. So now at this point, you'd watch and say, okay, if you took this trade, now you want to see what happens. If you decided to take a risk on it, you see, okay, price is breaking above this area right now. Would I be willing to take this trade with a candlestick close below this? That's up to you, right? There's a chance it could continue upwards or it could fail. Right? So at this point, if you were to look at a trade like this with CHRS, you want to see the moving average line separate and price go up, right? And many times it'll trade sideways, fake you out. There's no guarantee it's going to go up. That's why you got to watch these patterns. Right now, it's not looking so hot on the 1 minute. So we'll just let it play out for a couple more minutes or a few more minutes and just see what happens. Guys, I'll be back in a couple minutes. Just going to grab some water. Again, we'll see this again, just showing you guys another way, different way to trade, different type of pattern here. Right now, this is a higher price stock. It's not looking so hot. Moving average lines are trading sideways. Again, teaching you guys about risk management, right? 2-to-1 profit loss ratio. Find the patterns right now. Just because the 5 minute setup might be like, okay, it's something I consider. you have to also be aware of the 1 minute setup and what's actually happening as well. So I will be back in a couple moments, and we'll see what else to look at and what else I can try to teach you guys today. All right, I will be back. All right, I am back, everybody. Let's take a look and see if anything else is going on. So this one right now, very CHRS, very anticlimactic, just kind of trading sideways, not doing so hot right now. So let's see what else there is to look at. Fran might be moving up. So on Fran, you can see 770s high of day. Let me go back to the daily. Yeah, so it's got to get above that 770-ish area. I was looking right here that it might be trying to move up towards high of day. Again, not liking the pattern so hot on it. YTRA, let's go back over to that one. Still the volume just not kicking in. You can see it's been slowly building and moving up. Not so hot. Let's go back over to some of the higher movers on the day and see what's taking a look at them. You can say naked, right? Pump, dump. Again, you have to be very, very quickly on these. So if we kind of review and look at some of these as we go along, we'll see if there's any good pattern setups right here. If you look at a 5-minute setup on naked, you will see you really didn't have one, right? So if you're looking at the patterns right here, I mean, maybe you would have taken one down here, but it's not really showing you. This is a big candlestick up, so you would have had to get in really quickly right above here, right on that potential candlestick right here. You would have been so quickly. You could have potentially risked over here, but it's quick. Look at these candlesticks, 739 down to 746. So these are the things you got to be very well aware of. You have to know really what you're doing when you're trading these low floaters, because just because the setup, again, just because the setup on the 1 minute might be something to potentially look at, you're taking a lot more risk, right? You're not looking at bull flags and bull flags or ascending triangles here. You're looking just as it crosses over these moving average lines in an anticipation of a break when the pattern is still not so great. Like, this is about your best shot, that tiny little candle right here, and you would have had this quick move, and then if you didn't get it right at this candle or maybe at the close here, you're dealing with that super quick, right? And major candlesticks that you're dealing with, $10 down to $8. You're dealing with $2 candlesticks right here. And you have split seconds to react. So again, you can make really good money trading these. Just be aware of how you're risking, right? So we know that a lot of the people, most of us that are watching this stream are newer traders. They're beginning, they're learning the stock market. So that's why I'm trying to slow down and show you guys this to help you get acquainted and learn how trading works. So that way you can eventually trade these lower float ones that go really quickly when you find patterns. So you ideally want to see stuff like, pretend the market was open right now. You want to see, like, it's not the best bull flags right now, but you want to see like a bull flag. You want to get in near these moving average lines like this, right? So you want to be close. You want to see these bull flags. But as you can see, when the market opens, it then kind of reverses, and you'll see, boom, the moment it breaks this pre-market high, everybody on the planet is coming in and trading this, right? It's the stock to watch today. And you have to be so incredibly quick because you're battling everybody on the planet. So until you're really comfortable trading, you can't really look at these stocks because they're so volatile. So that's why I want to slow down and teach you guys this, what to look for. You want to find these bull flags. So in essence, when you see a stock like naked over here, you want to see these types of patterns, these bull flags or these ascending triangles on a 1 minute, and then you get in. But as you can see, many of them build this ascending triangle, sell off, and then you have to see if there's a good entry. And right here, you had been, just because it's moving, again, you have to be super quickly. And then once it does this, you're not able to trade these, right? There's no pattern on a 1 minute to trade this. There's no pattern on a 5 minute. So your best entry would have been really right. That smaller candlestick. You could have gotten in at the break above this bigger one, but remember, 826 down to 797. That's $1.25 candlestick that you're risking. So you could say, well, I'll get a candlestick close. I'll get out with a candlestick close below this. There's no guarantee this is going to go up like this. It could easily break like this and then go right back down. So again, be aware of your risk and how you're trading. NLDS is one I'm going to pull up from the watch list. Again, not getting much volume, but what I'm noticing, again, as a patterns, 1020 now, what pattern are you starting to see? Well, you can see a high a day of 1185. You can see 1185 high of day. You can see kind of this, not that. You had a big drop and sell-off. Price is now moving up. Can draw my trend line kind of like, maybe like this right here. So now you can see, okay, this might be forming an ascending triangle. So now I can see high of day 1185. Let's go to the daily chart and see what's going on. It's at all-time highs now. Actually, let me look on the weekly. Well, there's still potential room to run. It still could go up. You can see a big cut pattern. So again, bit overextended on the weekly, on the daily as well. So this one I would say, okay, it's one that might go and break out. It's kind of overextended. So I got to say, okay, is that one I'm willing to risk on? I don't know. If you did risk on it, if you get a candlestick close below that 1185, you've got to get out. But again, locate these patterns, see what's going on. Price is super overextended. I don't know if I would look at that, especially when you see that big drop off. But again, you're seeing patterns form, and that's what's really important to see. So I'm not liking that one. Sorry, I'm not liking that one right now. AETI. So this one kind of has a cup and kind of a handle pattern. It gets a little bit screwed up by this bigger wick up here. So we can keep an eye on this one and draw. Again, kind of a handle right here, right? Cup, top of the cup down right over here. So you guys see that? Now it's a little bit, so you can see that kind of a cup, darn it. All right, there we go. Cup breaks out, pulling back now, maybe forming a handle. You can see very important support level is that 170 area. High of day is now 190. Let's take a look at the daily. Obviously, it's gotten a pop up to 253. So there is room for it to potentially run. So now you got to look at this and say, okay, now I'd look in and say, okay, I can see a pattern, a cup, and I can see a handle. I can see clearly defined support right over here at that 170 level. Resistance is that 190. I'd also look at probably $2 as well. So now I've mapped it out, right? So now I would say, okay, is this something I would potentially consider trading? On the 5 minute, it's a bit choppy right now. I'd like to see a candle hold above this 170 area. If so, then I'd say, okay, if I was to take this trade, I would consider a candle close below this 170 as my stop. So then now that again, right, the psychology of the trade, now I'd look and say, okay, wait for this to close. If it does, and let's say you were to potentially trade a breakout above this 175 area, a close below 170 being your stop at the top of this cup, now you're risking what? 5 cents. What is the potential to make on that trade? Well, let me just draw a drawing right over here, that 175 area, right? This area here. So I'm willing to, let's say, risk 5 cents for the potential 175 up to 190 to make 15, right? So that's a 3-to-1 profit loss ratio. That's a good potential. Now the problem is this candlestick is not looking so hot right now, right? So you have that kind of an inverted hammer, that indecision right along here. You guys see what I'm trying to tell you guys here? It's just because you see a potential setup does not mean it's a good trade. You have to analyze every trade. What am I willing to risk? What is my reward? Am I willing to accept that risk knowing that there's no guarantees of that reward? And so as you can see, as I was talking here, that 5-minute candle didn't form a strong enough close for me. I don't like this setup, and I don't like these wicks. So again, one to keep an eye on. Maybe another 5-minute candle will come in here at some point and close above, and it's one that I maybe take a look at. So that's when I would basically put it off to the side, peripherally look at it on a screen. Just to show you guys what I do is I have a couple screens like this. I have a few monitors. So I'll put the stocks over here, and I'm just literally watching these patterns, right? Seeing them form. I see, okay, NDLS, that's forming a potential ascending triangle. Let's zoom in on it. SD, kind of trading sideways, don't like it. ASTS, bear flagging, not a big fan of it right now. YTRA was moving up but didn't have volume. CHRS, again, now it's kind of just trading sideways right now. It might be forming a kind of a pennant pattern, right? So I could remove the drawings here, get my drawing tool, zoom in right over in here. Oops. Take a look at here and like, okay, this is one I might, still keep an eye on, right? So it might be a bull pennant. That's a 1-minute pattern. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. So again, this is still in play potentially. A bull pennant. You can see high of day is now 1780, right? So I can see this pennant pattern. What would you be willing to risk? Find these patterns. So you can see again, bull pennant right there. You can see over on NDLS an ascending triangle. These are some bearish patterns right now. And this one right here, maybe cup and handle. Cup maybe forming a handle, but not getting the volume. You guys see this, right? Find these patterns. I'm showing them to you on a 5-minute. You then would drill into a 1-minute if you're going to then start to consider a trade on it. And so on going back to AETI, what we were just looking at right here. So, right, we were identifying this as a cup and a handle. Now it's failing pre-market high, right? So we can see over here this 5-minute candle. Like I said, it wasn't a good strong close. That inverted hammer, got to be very careful of that. And look, now it's pulling back. Now, does it mean this trade is over? No, it's still in this handle. It's just not looking so hot right now. You want something really strong to close to give you, to see it bounce off the 9 EMA, maybe get a couple candlestick closes up here to show more that this might have a chance of moving. But see here, cup, handle, prices in that handle. Now you'd want to get it back over that 170 area, ideally get it to break above 175. So is this trade over yet? No. So we put it off to the side, right? I have it on another screen over here, just like this, right? So I'm watching some other ones. So CBIO, as I'm talking to you guys, this is saying, okay, this is doing something. Now it's got a long-legged doji. So look, it went right up. And what did it do? So let's zoom in on CBIO, because that was one we were talking about earlier. And CBIO, like we were talking about, was, remember I was saying earlier with, okay, we had mapped out right up here, head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and you can see there was these it was the neckline right here. And we were looking at, okay, could this one potentially move up? We saw it actually did go up some, and then it failed, and now you have a newer neckline, right? So the neckline extends down on that head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline extends down, and now, you know, you have to watch and see, okay, as this is starting to reverse up, you want to watch these moving lines. Average lines cross again. The pattern's just not so, I don't really like it. Maybe an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, maybe a right shoulder, or a cup. It's just messy. So again, this one may now, if we remove this, right? So my chart's looking a little cluttered. So now I'm going to kind of remove those drawings, and I'm going to redo them and say, okay, here's pre-market high. I can see possibly a cup pattern here. And now, oops, that's not good. This may be a cup and handle. You guys see how my chart looked really messy and then I had to redo it? This is now one that, again, I don't like this 5-minute long-legged doji. That's a candle I just don't like. So I'd wait for it to play out a little bit over here and see if price can get up near that 1097 area for a potential break. If it does, again, all of this is happening right over here. We're talking about that bullish harami. It's all struggling all right along this line just below $11 because price is trying to determine, or the bulls and the bears are trying to determine whether this is going to be a 3 inside up possible pattern that forms or if it's going to fail this bullish harami. All of this craziness all based upon determining whether it's going to get above this right up here, right? Top of this second candle over here. So you can see support down here needs to get above that $11 area with resistance above 12. You guys see that? So now I would zoom in here and I'd say, okay, this is something I'm willing to watch. Cup, handle, possibly looking to break out above this cup. No guarantee, but very important for it to break above that. Ideally $11. You ideally want to see it get above $11 and break out. But be aware, just because the pattern looks good, you have to be aware of this. This big long-legged doji, 1064 up to 1094. That's a 30-cent candle. You know, be aware of that. So just because the pattern looks like, oh, it's a cup and handle, there's a probability that it's going to break above the top of the cup. Well, not necessarily, right? Patterns fail all the time. You have to have good entries, and the setup needs to be good. And the setup right now is very risky on this 5-minute chart. You guys see here also on the 1 minute how it popped out here really quick and dumped right back down. That's why it's nice. It's very, or not nice. It's very important to have multiple, have a 5-minute chart up, have a 1 minute chart, know where resistance is, know again, does this have room to run? What is the pattern, right? This is a bullish potential setup on the daily. Intraday, this is a potential bullish pattern forming. Handles, again, remember, very tricky to trade, right? Lots of indecision. And you can see this 5-minute, it's a major tug right now, right? Major battle going on over here. This 5-minute battle that's happening right over here, right there, that battle on that 5-minute is translating over in here. You guys see how this all translates over? And for me personally, it's too messy right now. I need to see much better. I want to see a lot better. I want to see I want to see these moving average lines cross on the 5-minute. I'd like to see better candlesticks going up like this. I want to see price get up above outside of this area and give me a little bit more confidence that this would be something I'd want to take a look at and trade. So again, need these moving average lines to cross, get outside of this handle, not have these long wicks over in here. And you want to see that 9 EMA with price getting up above this and pushing up towards the top of this level to give you a little bit more confidence of a potential breakout. So it looks like today might be cup and handle day that I teach you guys and show you guys cup and handles, because another one I'm peripherally watching right now is going back to AETI. Remember we were talking about this one earlier? Cup, handle, all this indecision. Let's zoom in on the 5-minute. I start to watch this one now because I'm looking at the spinning top right here close above the 9 EMA. So now you got to see here. This is one I'm actually I'd keep an eye on and say, okay, let me look at this here, right? So now you can see top of this candle, 166 to 161. You want to see it get above that 166 area. But remember now it's got to climb above pre-market high of 170, then 175 again. But now you're at least looking, if you start to look at potentially taking a trade like this, you're able to now look at these smaller candlesticks and have a smaller risk. 166 down to 161, that's a 5-cent candle. You're risking on a 5-cent candle, not a bigger candle. What is your reward? There is still quite a bit of resistance up here. So just because, oh, it's a cup and handle, there's no guarantee it's going to go back to 190. It could break 166 and fail right at 170. So then at that point, you're risking 5 cents for the potential to make 4. You guys see how just because the pattern might be good, the reward might not be good, right? So cup, handle might be, it's looking to hold potentially this 9 EMA, but what is your potential reward? It still has to get above 170, 175 to get to 190, and there's no guarantee. The probabilities of making 10 or 15 cents are a little bit more difficult, right? Going back to CBIO. There you go. Look, it did it again, right? So what did it do, guys? It broke out of the handle here on the 1 minute, failed. Broke out of the handle again, failed. And translated on the 5 minute, it's a mess. It's it's a lot big battle going on. So I'd still keep it on watch and come back to it if the pattern looks better. CHRS again, we'll go back to that one because we have that one mapped out. Kind of this bull pennant, right? So it was this bull pennant price, and these bull pennants gets all choppy, right? Kind of like I'll show you guys the futures again. Price is starting to fail it over here. Doji over here. So you're like, okay, potential warning sign, right? You might have to adjust your trend line a little bit now and say, okay, remove this one, and I'll maybe move it out right into this area, right? So you guys see now I'm adjusting my trend lines. So at this point, you'd want to see this thing break out. And it's showing some weakness. But to show you guys again, triangles like this, when they go up and down and go crazy like this, let's go back. So you see this on CHRS. Let's go over to the futures and look at the actual market and see. Right? Another triangle. On the daily, price is going up and down and all around, all inside of this triangle. All right, so up and down. The stock market is not going to crash just because it's doing these things. It's going through patterns. Look at the stock market overall over the past several years. So now if you look at it and you zoom out, so if you're new to the stock market, if you listen to news or people or hype, anytime you see a drop or the market drops, the news or places might tell you, oh my God, a stock market crash. Well, look at what's going on. You got to then draw these trend lines. Go like this and say, okay, what has the market been doing since, where's 2016? Right here. So since, where is October, right? So since November of 2016, what's the market been doing? It's been going up. So again, if you're a new trader, this is why support and resistance is so incredibly important to learn. You see over here, the market has been going up, right? You can see buyers came in down here. They came in down over here, right over in here, and down in these areas over here. So the market's been going overall, it's going up. Remember, guys, because the market pulls back or comes back down does not mean there's going to be a stock market crash, right? It's all fear and hype. Everybody's trying to sell you something, right? When there's all of this fear and hype. Awesome, Bella Bear. I'm hoping I'm helping you. Oh, thank you for that encouragement because my head is pounding today. I'm tired. So Bella Bear gave me some more encouragement to give you a few more minutes of talking because I'm exhausted right now. She says, learning so much, loving the training, Lucian. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad it's helping somebody because sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself for a couple hours. Maybe I'll go back to what I was saying earlier, right? Maybe I'll make a maybe I'll make a change, right? Maybe we'll just charge you guys for a membership. I'm going to turn off my camera, go dark so you don't see my face. Kick back, get a book, throw on some Netflix, have a coffee. Every 10, 15 minutes, say, hey guys, not looking so hot. I'll be back. Up. Keep an eye on things. Not looking so hot, guys. Not teach anything, right? I should just wake up each day and not teach anything. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here talking for 2 hours a day and my head's pounding trying to teach you guys. So hopefully it's helping somebody. So I'm glad, Bella Bear, it's helping you. So that's a good thing. So let's go back here to trying to teach you something before I shut down. So I'll be nicer than I was yesterday with the market, right? So now if you're one of those people and you're upset, you're losing money in your 401k, I will say, I am sorry that you're losing money. We don't want anybody to lose money, right? It's awful losing money in the stock market. It sucks. Whoa, you guys are great. I love these comments. Slupik says, I want to listen to Lucian when I'm sleeping. His voice is comforting. That's interesting. Thank you. Appreciate it. Someone gave me a not so nice comment recently that didn't find it didn't find what I was saying helpful. They didn't like what I say because sometimes I say things and it's not so nice. I am too blunt, and some people don't like that. So that's either somebody that gets too offended or it's a troll. You just don't know. You don't know if it's a slow. Love to hear it, guy. Thank you. So you don't know. We get trolls. Happens. All right. So before I get myself in trouble, let me get back on track here. Dan always keeps me in check, guys. If you never want to be offended by anything, if you want just straight technicals, thank you guys. I appreciate it. If you just want technicals, you want to just learn great stuff every day, never get offended, never get upset, Dan's your guy. Dan's the man. Me, on the other hand, I never know what I'm going to say. I get myself into trouble. Well, my intention is try to help you guys, But sometimes, you know what, in life, right, you got to give people tough love, right? You know, we live in this world sometimes, and you always want to sugarcoat things, and let's make it lovely and nice and rosy for everybody. You know, it's okay. You'll be okay. You took a loss. It's going to be fine. Let me comfort you. No, it's not true, right? That's not life. Life is difficult. Life is hard. There's ups and downs, just like there are in the stock market, right? There are going to be days where you make money. Bella Bear, my babies wake up every morning to the soothing sounds of Lucian teaching trading. Oh, you guys are making me feel so much better. My head has been pounding. I want to take a nap. You guys are awesome, right? That's not realistic, guys. The market goes up, the market goes down. There is real pain and loss in the stock market. There is pain and the loss when you don't know what you're doing and you lose a ton of money. Wait till we tell you guys the stories someday. We're going to do conventions and do all that stuff someday. God willing, that'll be fun, right? Lots of good stuff. We have lots of great stories for you guys. The reason why we're so adamant about really pounding support and resistance in your head until you're sick and hearing it is because I should have lost my life savings not once, not twice, I think at least 3 times trading. I should have lost everything several times. Dan, he lost a lot trading, you know, because when we began, we listened to hype just like most people did. And then what happens is when you listen to hype and you start taking a loss and you listen to other people and you don't know support and resistance, you know, one of a couple things are going to happen. You're going to get lucky and make it through. You're going to lose your life savings, or you're going to end up with some money and you're going to be able to continue the path and then, you know, kind of wake up and say, let me start doing it right. Right. So we were very fortunate in the very beginning that we were able to overcome it. And I think it's strictly because we're just meant to obviously have the Bullish Bears and really help you guys out. Right. I look back and it's unbelievable the complete and total luck that I had. And that's why, again, I'm adamant of trying to help you guys and teach you guys this, because I try to make it sounds so simple when I'm saying support and resistance, right? But if you're new and you don't really take what I'm saying as like, it is literally the God's honest truth, where there's no sugarcoating here. You're not, if you really put in the time, it is going to take you a long time. I wish there was an easier path. Sorry, as I'm talking to you guys, my OCD is saying I want to see my chart a little bit better. So it's going to take you a long time to learn all this. But again, I don't mean it crass when I'm like, you know, like sometimes I just flippantly say, hey, okay, this is a symmetrical triangle. You're losing money. Oh my gosh, the market's going to crash. Oh my God. And some of you guys might be like, this guy's being a jerk. I say it because, like, not trying to be a jerk. I'm saying it to you because it's that important to realize when you can draw your trend lines, when you can find these patterns, you're not going to freak out as to what's going on in the market. Are there going to be times where there might be a day where the market just randomly, you know, again, you can't predict it and some crazy news drops and you lose whatever, 500 points or 1,000 points? Sure. But realistically, that's not how the market works. It goes up and it goes down. And when you see these big red days, like, or big red weeks and stuff like that, doesn't mean, thank you, Slupik. I appreciate it. We've been doing this now for what, 2 or 3 years now? A couple years, 2 or 3. I'm losing time. I think actually 2. We started Bullish Bears, what? A little over 2 years ago. So, and we're always learning, guys, right? You never see us putting on a show like we're the best traders. We're always learning as we're teaching. We're teaching you guys as we learn and go along the way, right? We're just all community. As we learn, as we grow as traders, we do our best to give back to you guys. That's the intention, right? But I'm so adamant about it because it was all like, going back to what I was saying, my brain, let me kind of go back to my train of thought. we didn't know this stuff when we began. Like most people, we didn't know trend lines. We didn't know candlesticks. We didn't know patterns. What we knew was somebody told us the market was going to crash because news came out. So, hey, what do you do when you think the market's going to crash, right? You go and buy gold, right? Or you buy like other types of, I'm just giving an example. You could buy gold or stocks that go up when the market goes down. But when you didn't know and you begin and you start and you don't know support and resistance, you're like, oh, the market's going to crash, so I'm going to buy gold and hold it long term, right? Because people are pumping it up, and then every commercial on the radio and TV, hey, your 401k is going to crash at any moment. Buy gold, invest in gold. Again, I'm not telling you to not buy, invest in gold, but I'm just giving an example on stocks, right? Again, it's all this hype. We didn't know support and resistance, right? You're just buying because somebody tells you something, and then meanwhile, then gold just goes and epically dumps, right? This is back, again, part of the cycle. I'm giving you guys an example, right? I almost lost my life savings listening to people on hype on pumping up gold because I didn't know support and resistance. And then when I realized I was about 2 weeks away from, less than a month, but about 2 weeks away from completely losing my entire life savings because I was listening to hype of basically going back to right in the beginning, kind of where we started this and along on our journey. People were pumping up and hyping gold. I didn't know what I was doing with support and resistance. I was just buying a bunch of gold contracts, almost lost my entire life savings, right? Because of hype. But what happened along the way as we grew with you guys, and we're always trying to give back and helping you guys learn along the way, what happens? You learn more, you study more, you look at thousands upon thousands upon thousands of charts, and then support and resistance starts to kick in your head. Patterns start to kick in your head. Trend lines start to kick in, and it all starts to make sense. And when it all starts to make sense, again, that's why our whole journey's been, let's teach you guys how the importance of this, because it's so incredibly important. The easiest thing we could do every day, guys, is just my head spins talking 2 hours into staring at my screen. And again, you don't know if people like what you're saying. Again, we get very positive feedback. And sometimes you get some trolls and you get some people that don't like it, right? So overall, the feedback is very positive. But sometimes you're staring at your screen. You're like, hey, is this helping? Are people benefiting by it? That's our intention, right? So our intention is to really help you guys, because this is the importance of trading. These lines, everything you see here, these patterns. And that's why if you're new and you're seeing this, my intention's not trying to be a jerk saying, hey, this is trend lines, this is patterns, support and resistance, never going to question the market again. I say it kind of very bluntly and to you guys because I really want it to just literally smack you across the face and wake you up, not to be a jerk, but to wake you guys up, to really show you guys that if you learn these skills of support and resistance and patterns, this is a lifelong skill. The stock market's not going to wake up 50 years from now and be like, hey, we're not going to do support and resistance anymore, right? It's always going to be about support and resistance and patterns. The technology, as you see it now, we're staring into a computer screen right now. That's really nice. Thinkorswim's awesome. And we're able to see all of this, and the technology is great. I'm sure 10, 15, 20 years from now, the technology will probably get even better. I don't know if there'll be something other than candlesticks at some point, but if there is, I'm sure it'll be even better for us. So now instead of having to call my stockbroker and let them do all of those things, when should I buy a stock? Put everything in my stockbroker's hands. Now I'm able to learn, right? And you're able to learn a skill set of how to learn support, resistance, patterns, trade on a computer from the comfort of your own home, learn support and resistance, and learn a skill set that could potentially change your life, right? Trading can change your life, but it could also ruin your life if you don't know what you're doing. And the way to overcome that is study your you-know-what off until you start seeing and dreaming about candlesticks and patterns in your head. It's funny. Our artist the other day, our artist doesn't do the stock market, right? He's an artist, right? Not saying artists can't do stocks, but he's still working again. So those of you guys wondering when we're going to get our ebook and our desktop background, I'm wondering the same thing. But he promises me he's working his butt off. He's very particular about it. But my whole point being, it should be coming hopefully soon. We're on him, so it will be coming. But my whole point being is, he's seeing candlesticks on. He sent me a picture the other day of a restaurant that had like a candlestick on it. Obviously, it's not a candlestick, but he's starting to see candlesticks everywhere, right? So that is what I want you to guys, like, that's important, right? It's seeping it into your self-conscious where all this stuff becomes just automatic to you. And it's not going to become automatic overnight. It's going to take months, if not a year plus, and studying nonstop for hours upon hours upon hours. And when you can learn this, then you're going to see, okay, when the market does this, it's a natural progression of the market. What goes up must come down. What goes down will end up coming back up. It's the flow and progression of the market, right? Let's go back monthly to the monthly charts. Look. Market goes up, gets overextended. Here's a monthly chart. When price goes up, just because it comes down doesn't mean it's a crash. People want to take profit. Profits, buyers come back in. It's up and down, up and down. So that is the natural progression. And as you can see, look. Here's a monthly chart. Price in this monthly chart is in a symmetrical triangle, right? You guys see this triangle? This is a monthly chart. On a weekly chart, price is in a symmetrical triangle. On a daily chart, price is in a symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangles have lots of indecision. It could either break out or break down, but be aware of this. When you start to see this stuff, you're not going to panic as much anymore. You have to draw these trend lines, support and resistance, all of that good stuff, so that at the end of the day, when something comes out, again, we're trying to protect you from me. Like, I feel like more than an obligation, like I want to help you guys so much because I almost lost everything several times. And so that's our intention of trying to give back and help you guys, because it means everything. And when you can learn this, you'll have a lifetime skill that will probably just continue, I'm assuming, through technology, just get better and better over time. We're able to stare at a computer screen and make 10, 15, 20 cents in a few minutes or a few days, depending on what type of style trader you are, and grow your account. But many of us, again, we have this grandeur, this illusion, right? We all want to get rich, right? We want to get, not all, but that's the whole system, right? Get rich quick, right? All the money-making schemes out there, get rich quick. Buy this stock. Pot stocks are going to be the best thing ever. Buy them now. They're going to the moon forever. Buy Bitcoin. It's going to the moon forever. And speaking of which, going back here, not to rub any salt in any wounds. Charts, guys, we've been showing you this now forever. Here is the chart of Bitcoin. And as you guys been watching right here, still near the base of a descending triangle. So bringing it all back to, again, saying it to you guys, never buy something based upon hype unless you know support and resistance. And Bitcoin is a perfect example of that. And it's sad. I make jokes about it, not because I'm happy about it, but I try to sometimes I'm very flippant about what I say. But this is disastrous, man. People have lost their entire life savings right now buying Bitcoin out here because everybody's telling them to buy Bitcoin because it's the future. I don't know if Bitcoin's the future. Maybe it will be. But all I know right now is this is probably one of the worst charts you're going to see. And at any moment, if this base cracks on Bitcoin, it's not pretty. So, all right, guys. I think I was actually nicer now today. I watched my yesterday. I go through my moods. I go up and I down, right? Again, so yesterday I was a little bit blunt. So I'm sorry if any freebie was listening yesterday. I was not trying to be rude when I was like, today you're going to have to pay up, right? So I said, pay up. If you want to see us, we're giving everything for free. Pay up, right? Pay up. And I think majority of people know I'm joking, but then there's some people like, that guy's a jerk. He wants me to give me his money, and he's being a real jerk right now. No, guys, I'm joking, right? So if you got offended by that, I think one person got offended by that. One person did, right? Oh, guys, that's what I got for you today. I joke around. If you like me, great. I hope you do. If you don't, you have a couple options. You can pay us $10 a month anyway and deal with me being an idiot sometimes to hopefully learn something so you can make some money. Or your other option is don't pay us $10 a month and go pay somebody else $200, and they will gladly take your money for, again, $100, $200, a car payment, right? Go pay somebody else a car payment a month. Go pay them thousands of dollars for courses. Go pay them thousands of dollars for coaching. And meanwhile, again, this is not an arrogance. This is a confidence in what we know we're teaching. We've been around the block. We've seen things. We are not the best company that's out there. We are not the best traders that are out there. We're not the best at anything. But I can tell you this. We've been many other places. And for the pricing and the value and everything that we give to you, we don't know of anybody else that's offering what we're offering. And that's what we're trying to do, is continuously help you guys out and make it better for you guys. Make it easier. All right, guys. That's it. That was a long rant. And that's what you're going to get. Long rant sometimes, and sometimes you won't. Sometimes I'm cranky when I wake up. Sometimes I have a headache like now. Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I'm sad, right? I'm a human being. Just like all of you guys. But that's why all those emotions, when you go to trade, you have to be able to separate them and throw them out the door. Be like an Amanda. Amanda, we hear, is awesome, and she separates her emotions, and she's stealth when she gets in and out of trades. And that's what's very important. And then there's days where you look at your computer and like, I can't trade today. Walk away. Don't chase. All right, guys. So that's what I got for you today. I'll give you my quick pitch, my quick sales pitch. If you're on the fence wondering if we're worth it at all, subscribe over here, and you can come down here and get all this good stuff for $10 a month. All right. Don't ask us for a trial. We're not going to give you a trial for $10 a month. Don't ask us for a discount code off of $10 a month. We're $10. I say that and I laugh because Dan has super patience, and then sometimes I see emails of people wanting a discount code off of $10, and I'm like, that can't be, man. Like, did that person just want a discount code off of $10? Do they realize, like, never mind. I'll go on another rant if I keep doing this. So have a wonderful day, guys. I'll probably see you guys later I'll try and do a watch list later if my headache goes away. And if not, you'll get the watch list, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So have a wonderful day, guys. Enjoy.